Well, hello.
Hello. This
And,
is Sue and Orrin.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon.
Whatever it might be. We're here in the kitchen and we're going to cook for you today.
What are we going to make today?
We are going to make a dish called sambusak.
Sambusak.
Sambusak. Sambusak.
Sambusak.
Sambusak. And what it is a Mediterranean dish that is a dough that is tender and tasty, stuffed with chickpeas, onion, and some spices.
It could be, by the way, this is chickpea sambusak, and it could be filled with other stuff, but traditionally at my home, we always had the chickpeas filling.
Well, it's all about recreating what you had as a child, so let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, so for this, we're going to need 3 cups of flour. And since I'm doing the food processor method, we don't have to measure too much.
And why are you doing the food processor method, Orrin?
It's just easy to tell when the hydration of the dough is just perfect, and we need about 60% hydration. For this, we're going to need a teaspoon and a half of yeast.
Now, in a regular little packet of yeast, it's 2 1/4, I think, teaspoons of yeast.
I believe so, yes.
So this is just a little bit less than that.
Yep. Don't get the packets. Just buy the big packs. They last. This I think is like 2 years old. They pretty much last forever. And we're gonna need 1 teaspoon of baking powder.
And that's an interesting combination, putting the yeast with the baking powder.
Yep. This will help it become like a little fluffy thingy. Not that the yeast won't, but a little help. So for this, we're going to need a teaspoon. So I'm just going to...
People don't realize that salt is very important
for bread.
Yes.
It helps with the gluten and...
Absolutely,
yeah.
And the flavor, the formation, it's an essential part.
So a teaspoon and 2 teaspoons of sugar.
Sugar. So we'll put a little bit of sugar in there. Really, bread is almost kind of a perfect food in many ways.
It's perfect. We're going to just pulse it a little so everything gets blended. And now we're going to start it on and start pouring. And because we're not doing a slow fermentation type of bread rice, we're going to try to get warm water, ideally 105 degrees Fahrenheit to 110. Anything higher and the yeast could kind of die.
Well, we don't want any dead yeast here. Not in our sambusak.
So we need about 1 cup of water, but and we don't want wet dough in this case. We want tacky.
Well, that I represent that remark. Let's get a little close-up of what the dough is doing here.
Now we're going to test it, and we're going to add a little bit more flour as we
work it.
It's probably a good idea to
pull up your sleeves. Okay, take any rings off.
So basically, if you did it in your mixer, blender, mixer, then you wouldn't have to do this.
It looks lovely.
Shape it,
Put it in a bowl.
we're gonna put it in our trusty,
Oh, in your trusty little.
yeah, I
Plastic.
actually really like this brand. It's a Cambro.
Out of, you can't read it, of course. There it is, Cambro, Huntington Beach, California, USA. It's a plastic pot
They're
that.
BPA free.
Yes, of course.
We'll put some oil just to
Just so it won't stick totally.
stick.
And really, it's a big help because you can see when it's doubled in
Yeah,
scope. Yeah, absolutely.
definitely.
Whereas
Yeah.
sometimes it's a little hard to tell.
And because it seals nicely, it doesn't dry out.
Bingo.
All right, so the next step is to let this rise or double, I would say about an hour, we're gonna see. And in the meanwhile, let's prepare the filling. All right, so for this, we're gonna need a teaspoon of ground coriander, and this is the non-ground, and we're gonna put it in the grinder, and this is the DeLonghi. Just get it ground out.
There it is, yummo. Smells great, doesn't it?
Love it. We're gonna have to chop up the onion.
Everybody loves onion. Well, not some people. But then what you do is you make it so small they can't pick it out.
Exactly. So cut it across. Make sure you have a really sharp knife, because the sharper, the less effort you have to put into it, the less chance of it, you know.
Sticking and cutting yourself.
This is, by the way, my favorite knife.
What kind is it?
It's the Victorinox.
Ah, yes,
and this is the,
I've heard of it, the Santoku style.
All right, so once we have this, we're gonna drain and rinse the chickpeas.
Okay. Do you find there's any difference between any of the brands of chickpeas? I prefer like Goya
Goya's good, actually.
or Hanover, actually. I like theirs too. So you got some very nice cilantro here.
Yeah, and while it's okay to use the bottom part of the cilantro because it tastes good,
Yes, the stems are decent.
we're not going to use it this time.
Okay.
Or at least we're going to minimize just because of the texture.
Okay?
So. We'll just,
So all of this is going to go into the food processor?
yeah, but since I don't want to go crazy with the chickpeas.
You don't want to make mush. You
Yeah.
want to keep some texture to it.
Exactly. So we're going to get the stuff we want to the right size. And then this way we know we're not going to over-process it. And let's add a teaspoon of oil. Teaspoon. That's that first.
Okay. So broken up a little bit.
All right, so at this point, we're going to saute the onions that we chopped to a nice translucent and even a little brownish texture.
So we've got our chickpeas in the food processor that we processed slightly.
And we're gonna add the cilantro.
Okay, cilantro in.
We're gonna add,
Sauteed onions.
smells great.
I know, don't they smell fabulous?
Yes.
There's that little ping going on in my tummy.
So now we're gonna add the coriander. We need a teaspoon of ground coriander.
Okay.
And we need a teaspoon of ground cumin.
Ah,
I love cumin. I use so much.
it's a great spice. It's very distinctive. A little bit of salt.
all this salt. Actually, we're gonna taste it, so I'm gonna add some salt here.
Okay.
We're gonna add some pepper, and after we blend it, we're just gonna taste it and see that we got nice.
Enough.
All right, we're gonna mix
Looks
it
good.
again.
So it can be described as a chunky mixture.
Yes. It's ready. Let's taste it.
More salt? Yeah.
More salt.
I find that chickpeas and lentils take an incredibly amount of salt, more than I would normally put in whenever I've used them.
Now, don't be afraid to do this, because otherwise it's not gonna blend, you know?
Oh, I taste the coriander, the cumin. It's delicious.
Let's move it to a bowl. All right, so you need to, do you think it needs a little more,
I think it's perfect. I
what
can
about
taste.
more pepper?
I didn't taste any pepper,
Let's give it a
but I tasted the spices and the salt, which I love. And the onion, of course.
This is ridiculous.
It works! It's not working fast enough for you, obviously.
Not. We probably could have used a little less cilantro,
Oh, no.
but it's okay.
No.
Viewers
Uh-uh.
out. Yeah.
It looks good to me.
Looks good.
There is nothing like
Look how
a
nice it came.
spongy, beautiful piece of dough. Up go the sleeves.
All right, so what we're gonna do now is just punch it down. And we actually need to make small balls so we can round them up and
Okay,
and get
I gotcha. So let me get the bench knife and we can cut them up. Oh, you just twist them off because you're...
fancy.
All right, let me watch you.
Yeah, so we'll put this aside.
So that's bigger than a golf ball?
A golf ball.
Okay.
All right, so we did all the balls, and now we're gonna basically get them down to a nice about 10 centimeters, or we want them thin. I guess the size doesn't really matter.
Okay. We need to have them big enough that we can get a nice amount of filling in them because we don't want to eat all dough.
All right, even though the dough is kind of yummy.
I have no doubt.
So this is about the size that we want.
Okay.
All right, so at this point, we grab some filling, put it in the middle.
Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so about 2 tablespoons?
Yeah,
Okay.
bring it up
Yep.
and pinch it. And you want to pinch it well because you don't want it to open in the
As it's cooking.
as it's cooking.
So you don't need to put any water with it. You just go ahead and pinch it tight.
Yep,
Okay.
it should do. It's
All
done.
right.
The dough should.
Okay, let me come around and watch
Yeah,
you
we
do
can
another
even-
one
So this is how it should look like.
as it's waiting to be cooked.
Yes.
All right. And that's a nice little snack when you come home from school, isn't it?
Yeah, this is great.
Is that, when would you eat it in your family?
Anytime, anytime.
Oh. And did your mom make them certain day of the week, certain time
Yeah,
period?
you just make
and-
it ahead of time, and then you pop it out of the freezer.
It's not geared to any holiday, it's
Nope.
not,
Not that I know
okay. I was just wondering if you would do it as a double, you know, how.
No.
No, don't do it
Nope.
like that. Okay, all right, that's what I need to know.
of. All right, so what's the best method to check if the oil is ready? Do a little piece.
It's a little piece. Oh, that looks like it's ready, by golly.
Yeah.
So here's our oil.
Okay.
These are little babies, Sambusak. Yes, you're gonna have to check my sealing ability, because I am a novice. Wow, look at that.
So basically, we're going to, they're starting to cook up. We're going to cook them until they're golden brown on one side and flip them over.
Oh, Oren, that's gorgeous.
Alright, so we got these. Basically, we should just wait till they cool a little. I think these are cool already. And just bite into them.
Look at it, it's got two little bubbles right there.
These are bubbles. It actually looks a little like a monster.
That's the one I chose, yes. Monsters. Oh, look at that, yummy. The bread is certainly done.
Yep.
All right, gonna try it. Gonna go for the gusto.
How is it?
Delicious.
Give us a little description.
Very crispy outside, but soft. You know, the dough on the inside is soft.
Yes.
Perfectly cooked, though. I mean, it's cooked all the way through. And then you get the chickpea and the onion. I don't really taste too much cilantro, but it tastes fresh. You know, it just has a fresh taste to it.
I'm going to try now mine. I'm going to tell you if this is what I remember from. The dough came out perfect. This is it, sambusak.
I could see eating one of these when I came home from school as a kid, at least one or two.
Yummy.
Nice crispy outside too.
I think the filling turned out really nice.
It's delicious. What do you think of it?
I think this is how I remember it. This is good.
Well, then we created it.
We created? Well, I've made it before, but
Yeah, but you're teaching a novice, someone who's never eaten it, never tasted it, never touched it before.
right.
So, you know, it's delicious.
It's, you know, besides the deep frying, it's very good for you. Besides
It's
the
not greasy.
No, in fact, I think each one of these is about 300 calories, so it's not too bad.
This would be great to take to lunch tomorrow when you go to work.
Yeah. All right, so what do we do? What do we say?
We say thumbs up.
If you liked our video, please, thumb up, subscribe, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please have a, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please come see us again, and I hope you have a great day, and till next time.
Yummo.
Bye.
Bye.